Hi guys, welcome back to the 12 Days of Foundation. I'm testing out 12 foundations over 12 days, showing you things like application, before and after, a flash photo test, and of course how it holds up on my super oily skin throughout the day. Today it is all about a foundation from Clinique. It is their Super Balanced Silk Makeup. So let's go ahead and get started. This foundation can be found in a lot of different places. Clinique is pretty readily available, so you can find this at Sephora, on the Clinique website, Sears, The Bay, Nordstrom. So if you're looking to track it down or even match yourself to a shade, that's a great way to do it if you end up wanting to purchase online, like I always do, because I always want to get my Ebates. This foundation, you get 30 milliliters in here, which also equals a fluid ounce, so keep that in mind. A fluid ounce is kind of the average size of a foundation. Retails for $33 Canadian, which I think is definitely on the more affordable side of foundations that you would find in any of those kind of more high-end department stores. It's got SPF 15 in here, so we'll test it out with a flash photo and see how it looks, see if we get any flashback. On the box, as you know, Clinique kind of like recommends different numbers for different skin types. This is for 2, 3, and 4, which is dry, combination, and oily. So it seems like it's going to work for everybody. It does claim to be super balanced. You get there's just about 20 shades in there, which I think is really nice. Comes in a frosted glass bottle, so keep in mind that's going to slightly distort the way the foundation looks on the inside, but you will be able to get an idea of how the foundation looks from the outside of the bottle, which I always appreciate. It's a nice small compact bottle, but you do get, like I said, the full fluid ounce in here, and there is no pump, so I can see this getting a little bit messy, but that's not the end of the world if it ends up being a great foundation. I'm going to go ahead and get into application. I'll use a beauty blender on one side and then a more dense buffing brush on this side. I'm wearing mine in the shade 14 Silk Suede, and I'm an NC42, NC43 for reference. Smooth on, silk enriched makeup coverage with Clinique Super Balanced Silk Makeup, broad spectrum SPF 15. This foundation blends gently and evenly into skin and provides sheer to medium coverage with a natural matte finish. It's formulated without parabens, sulfates, and phthalates. And it is allergy tested, non-acne Genic, dermatologist tested, water, sweat, and humidity resistant, and it's free of fragrance, formaldehyde, toluene, and DBP. This has definitely built up to the promised medium coverage. I put on about 2 layers and a little bit extra in spots where I felt like I needed it, but you could definitely go on with a lighter layer if you're looking for a more sheer coverage. It feels incredibly lightweight on the skin, like there is nothing there. The shade is slightly off. It could be a little bit warmer for my skin tone, so for me personally, I'd probably add the Body Shop Shade Adjusting Drops in Honey Bronze. I've got a full review on those, which I will link to down below, but those are great if you have a warm skin tone and you just want to warm up foundations slightly. Otherwise, I think that it looks really good. I'm anticipating a few issues potentially with the flashback because the shade is just a little bit off, but I love the way that this looks on my skin. It just looks like skin basically, and it hasn't totally set, but it also doesn't feel sticky or tacky. So I'm going to put on the rest of my makeup. I will powder, but I'm not wearing a primer, and I will not set with a setting spray, and I need to powder. Like, I have incredibly oily skin, as I've said before, and then I will show you how it looks in photos. I've got my full face of makeup on now, and I forgot to mention after I did the application, I liked both the Beauty Blender and the more dense e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush to apply it. They both seem to do a really nice job. As for putting on the rest of my makeup, I had no problems. I put on a little bit of a deeper powder along with some extra bronzer just to account for my face being a little bit more leaning on the pink side than the yellow, which is what I prefer, something definitely warmer. But otherwise, I absolutely love the way that this looks on my skin. It looks great in photographs here in with just like my studio lighting, and then for a flash photo, a slight flashback, but nothing super bad, nothing that like you're gonna look at photos from the night before and be like, oh god, what a horror show. I think it looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and wear this throughout the day, and I'll check back with you guys at the end. It is currently 7:41. I've had this foundation on for just over 9 hours now, and boy am I excited to blot. The oils started coming through probably around noon. That being said, nothing has really moved around on my face. My blush and highlight, everything is still there, but I'm just incredibly oily. I wanted to mention actually the person who turned me onto this foundation. She's got a YouTube channel. It's called Key Beauty, and she's awesome, like huge personality, and this foundation worked out incredibly for her. So I will link to her review down below and just recommend that you check out her channel in general. She's fabulous. I'm just gonna powder a little bit I think it looks good now that I've blotted and powdered. That being said, if something ends up oily on me but still stays in place, I definitely think that's a good candidate if you have dry skin, normal, or combination. If you have incredibly oily skin and you do want to try this out, you're going to need to use a mattifying primer, a blot throughout the day. I think it held up well considering how oily it was on my face. It didn't slip around. No major transfer, but I definitely made sure not to touch my face because when you do get incredibly oily, that's when things start to move around. It did feel very lightweight on my skin. I absolutely loved the initial application. I just really needed / wanted to blot. So overall, I like this foundation. I can't say that it is absolutely perfect for oily skin types, but if you have dry, normal, or combo, this could be a great option to try out. Let me know down below if you've tried the Clinique Stay Matte Foundation, I believe it is called. Maybe that will be next on my list to try from Clinique because I did like the formula. I loved the way it looked on my skin and felt so lightweight, but for me the oil control was just not there. Be sure to check out the rest of my 12 days of foundation down below. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with another one. And if you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!